The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think
he missed the complete. He's crazy.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield before. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Determination, skill, speed. These drivers will need all three to achieve victory, with only one goal: to be crowned the next Lionheart champion. 40 drivers and 28,000 horsepower racing to keep his memory alive. With so much on the line, they will push their cars to the limit. So buckle up. It's about to get wild.
Blows over and goes quite the ride on his lid. And they were side by side off of pit road. Time. Here comes Jake Ray with the red topside.
You're watching the premier American Open Wheel Series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
Floating high in a Georgian sky, we're below the Lionheart IndyCar Series, presented by First Medical Equipment, has returned to Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Race for the Cure 200, the penultimate round on the 22-round Season 4 schedule. For the second season in a row, Jake Wright will take the green flag, having already clinched the series championship. However, the lack of drama at the top of the standings isn't expected to have much impact on the racing. Much like last season, tonight's affair will be a strategy-filled battle throughout the field. This quarter-hour Streamy Award-worthy pre-race show will count down to the green flag for the first of 133 laps on the path to the checkered flag. So bring cyberspace into your place, then ladle up a bowl of peanut soup, fix a glass of peach nectar on the rocks, sit back and enjoy the 200 miles of simulated DW12 Dallara oval course excitement that will be streaming your way. From the Peach State Soup and Crackers with you once again for another GSRC broadcast. I'm me, Bill Soups on. He's him, my partner Sean Crackers Ambrose. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director, the doctor of pits topology himself, Amjad Yaman. The camera locations have been created exclusively for GSRC by the much sought after Dougie Beard, and spotting for us today is Never Say Die Dawson Brock. Sean, this week's outcome is likely to depend heavily on tire wear and pit strategies. Some sim racers in the field may choose to pit as early as 22 laps into a run, hoping to gain some speed from fresh tires. In early practice sessions, however, lap times have increased by about a half a second or more during the long fuel run, so a conservative pit strategy can be a wise decision also. However, if a yellow flag should catch out there unexpectedly, the pit cycle before it's complete, then some of those guys who pitted early could find themselves trapped a lap down. And all of this chess/poker takes place on a pretty fast oval.
Yes, sir, it does, Soup. I stopped for dinner at the South City Kitchen in Midtown, had myself a big old plate of chicken and waffles, head on over to the Speedway here in Hampton, Georgia, baby. Hotlanta, 1.54 miles, 24-degree bank turns, a little bit of banking in the straightaways, about 5 degrees. But man, this place is legendary and super fast. They've been racing here since 1960. They changed the configuration and turned this into basically a 1.5-mile super speedway. Indy cars tonight, you're going to see them running upwards of 230, 235 miles an hour around this old joint. And side-by-side racing, 3 wide, 4 wide. Some of the best racing you've seen here on the iRacing service in some time is about to hit your way this evening. Let's take a ride around in the Global Sim Racing channel DW12 now and check this track out from the cockpit.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around the Atlanta Motor Speedway. in the GSRC DW12 IndyCar. Atlanta is a fast 1.5 mile oval. I'll show you just how to get around here. So for the hot lap, float out to the wall, but then bring it right down here to this white line, 217 miles an hour in the corner. And then basically you're going to come out here and just float it up to about that seam right there where the reflection from the fence comes down. Down into turn 3 once again, find that white line, don't clip the apron or else you're going for a ride. Out of turn 4, cut across the dog leg here, and that's going to be that. For the race, you might see guys venture up into that top groove, but I think for the most part, you're going to see the fast guys down here hunting the bottom of the track. Now, you might see them move all over around here on the backstretch, but in the corners, you're going to see them down here at the white line. Out of turn 4 once more at a staunch 217 miles an hour across the line, and that's going to complete your lap around the Atlanta Motor Speedway. I'm Brian Yazik. Enjoy the show.
There's Brian Yazik taking us around the 1.5 miles at Atlanta. Now, Sean, from just looking at that, I know that IndyCar doesn't race here in the real world, but correct me if I'm wrong, but this kind of feels a lot like what we would see an IndyCar race kind of in Texas. Am I kind of in the ballpark there?
Yeah, you're right in the ballpark. I mean, the tracks practically mirror each other. There are some characteristics about Texas that are much different than this place, but certainly the type of racing we'll see this evening is much like what we'll see at Texas. You're going to see a few packs running this race tonight, and it's going to be exciting for sure. Now, if it's me out there behind the wheel, I want to get a good qualifying starting position in this race. I want to stay up front as long as I can this evening because I really think that's the only safe place on this track. At 1.5 miles, they're going to stack up quick, Sue.
1.5 miles and lap times of around 24 seconds. That's almost Bristol time, and they're going 3 times as far. That's frightening. Hey, let's go ahead and look at some of the point standings that's been going on. Remember, this is the penultimate race in the season, and what a great season it has been. We're going to start with this overlay that comes directly from the Lionheart series, and what it does, now this is pretty much raw totals. Remember, each driver is allowed 3 drop races. Now, there's only 2 more to go. So what these represent here is with each driver losing 1 drop race, their worst race thrown out. And you can see up there the Wright's in front. Now, Dan Guerin is in second place by quite a margin over Goke. And, of course, we know that Goke's not going to be racing anymore. The Robarge, Grahula. You can see Hasser is up a couple spots. This takes you all the way down to 16. There's Adam in 16. Let's bring up this next graphic, though. We sent Simon and Poindexter, the GSRC stat boys, down into the GSRC, the dungeons where it's dark and damp, and we had them do some number crunching. Now, these are the numbers that take away the 3 worst races each driver has had so far. So what you're going to see here, that Goke is a little bit closer to Guerin. He's only behind by about 22 points behind. That's because Goke has much better drop races there. Now, you see those pocket points in there. That's each driver's highest drop race that if they were not to show up, what they would lose. You can see that even though Jake Wright's out in front, he still has 11 points. So even if disaster were to strike him, he's well out in front. Of course, Jake has locked it up. So look at those close battles going on there. Robarge and Krahula in a nice battle. Then there's a tie for 8th position between Jason Galvin and Ron Hacker. They're both 405 points behind the leader. But again, Hacker has 10 pocket points to Galvin's 5. So if disaster were to strike both of those guys, Hacker's going to come out best because he has that 10-race pocket insurance in them. Let's go ahead and close that down now. Let's bring up the team standings. I love the teams. This is the best 3 drivers. Oh, that's the manufacturer's championship. Nope, that's the team championship. My director's on it. Oh, you had it. There you go, director. I scared it right away from him. There we go. Now, No Name Racing out in front, they got quite a lead, 339. Remember, the teams have a bunch of drivers, but it's the top 3 driver that scores for them each week. No Name Racing, and then Team #Nailed has been doing really well. But look at this battle going on to see which one gets on the podium. They swap every race. Adrenaline Motorsports back out in front by 20 points over AGR Motorsports. Those guys, each race, Sean, it's a different guy. Blue Bayou doing a great job hanging on to that final 5th spot. They said they'll be back one day, come what may, and sure enough, Blue Bayou hanging on to that top 5. Dragonfly Racing, even though they got a new logo, wasn't enough to get them into the top 5. Cold Chaos and Streamline Motorsports rounding out the graphic. Now we go to the one that everyone talks about. All the fan mail coming into GSRC. It's all about the Manufacturer Championship. Not so much what's on top. It's down there in that 8 and 9 spot. Sean, tell us a little bit about this one.
Yes, sir. Presented to you by First Medical Equipment. Toyota. Looks like they pretty much locked things up there up in first. Chevrolet had a great season, second. Mazda, third. Honda, fourth. Ford, the Blue Oval, sitting down there in 5th. Dodge in 6th, all alone right now. Here is the battle.
Here it is.
Lexus and Yugo. 3 points separate them. Last time I checked, our Yugo driver has not made it in yet this evening. So
breaking news. That's my breaking news sound there. Alfred E. Shepard is here. So both Shepard and Tutwiler are here for
all right,
Lexus and Yugo.
This is the battle for the manufacturer standings is right there for 7th and 8th. We could watch it change this evening. Subaru in 9th, Audi in 10th, and Tesla, the new entry, with a few races under its belt now, sits there in 11th. Soup.
There we go. And practice just about, qualifying looks like it's just about wrapping up. Our director, are we going to go to that qualifying right now before we have technical issues? Looks like probably a good time to do that. Or yeah, we're going to bring this up. We're going to change up our format a little bit because iRacing's thrown us a curveball. So we're going to bring these up here. Here's your qualifying, what we think are official here. And on the front row, it's going to be Jake Wright and Tony Schowen. My goodness, look at that. Row 2, George Anzaldo and Big Joe Hazard. Michael Goodman, there's a new name. Ron Hacker in 6. Row 4 is going to be made of Brandon Lincoln and Chris Gutierrez. And the 5th row, Chris Stouffer, last week's winner, and James Krahula. Sean?
Row 6, Tony Lurcock and Dylan Lee. Joe Branch and Dave Barber. Matthew Mercer and Alfred E. Shepard in 16th. Pierre Degla in 17th. Trevor Bissett, 18th. Jared Turnbull, 19th. Brian Yazik rounding out the top 20.
Moving into the blackjack position, we'll just finish this out in 21st position. It's going to be, let's see right here, Ian Adams, Robert Bluen. Bob Mike is going to be in the next row. Outside of him, Jason Galvin. We'll talk more about Galvin a little later. Peter Edwins, Tyler Turnbull, Vincent Bluthenthal, Ed Tutwiler. Good to see him. He's back in 28th position. Patrick Taylor, Dan Guerin, my goodness. I believe must have an end-of-the-line penalty maybe for him. I'm not sure why he's back so far. Nope, that's his qualifying time, 24.7. And Brian Neff, nice to see him coming back from the Bootleg Racing League. 2 other drivers back there. Here's our end-of-line guy, Jason Robarge, running out in 32nd position. All right, boys. Sean, they're gridding up. You want to maybe talk to us about our in-car cameras if our director is ready to do that? Up. 32 drivers here today, Sean, as we're trying to negotiate our way around the glitches that iRacing has thrown us.
Well, I want to tell everybody real quickly, we are running the DW12 tonight, the Delara. This is an adjusted fix setup that they worked on all week since the last race. They got right on it. 75% of fuel this evening. Expect 3 stops to get this thing done. They just did 2 qualifying laps. 133 laps tonight, so 200 miles, no fast repairs. Incident limit of 12. Don't get in any trouble out there tonight. 12 will come quick. Single file restarts. The weather today, pristine. Under the daytime conditions, it's 78 degrees and 103 degrees on track.
And now we'll do some onboard cameras. What do we got here today, Sean?
All right, on board. Well, we'll go with Big Joe Hassert, the Big Joe Show, back on board this evening. No Name Racing Zone, the number 44 Articat machine. Big Joe, the Big Joe Show cam. We'll be checking in with him this evening. Pierre Degla is in the First Medical Equipment. We'll get to that in just a second here. But Pierre is going to have our other onboard camera this evening, the First Medical onboard camera. And there we go. There's Pierre, and looking right over the left wheel there, right up in front of him. And then we'll go to Peter Edwins in the DirtyBlinds.com, number 16 this evening. Pete looking for good ones. Been awful fast in practice. We'll see what he can do from 28th back here.
And of course, GSRC will be releasing this broadcast not only here on YouTube, but later on Blu-ray, where you get the director's cut and you get to hear our director Amjad Yaman's comments as he tries to work his way around the gremlins. That's worth the price of the DVD right there. They're rolling now, Sean.
Yes, they are, and it's a beautiful sight. Big field tonight. Soup, again, it's a 1.5 mile track, which means the front of the field's probably going to find the back of the field. All 33 cars here tonight. Probably going to find them pretty quick. You don't get boogieing right at the drop of the green and you get left out. It's going to be a tough night.
We got Jake Wright up there. He's trying to be, not only, he's got it locked up, but he has some stuff to race for. He's hoping to be one of our all-time leaders in wins, isn't he, Sean?
Yeah, and if he can get a win tonight, that'll get him past the great Jesse Vincent. So, a lot on the line for Jake, even though he's got that championship wrapped up as they make their way out of turn 4 soon.
That beautiful gold-plated Mustang pulling off, glistening in the Atlanta sunshine. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn. And my gosh, jumping out there like wire breaking down his stall is Jake Wright. George Anzaldo running in second position, dropping in Big Joe Hassard and Tony Schowen.
Yeah, and we can't talk enough about the qualifying effort there of George Anzaldo. He really he won the practice race Monday night. He's feeling this track, and he's really making a move on Jake here early to the outside.
We're going to see right away. It looks like Wright's going to hug that inside line. We're going to see right away if that outside line is going to work for George. Big Joe behind him. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tony Schowen, a very nice run from him. Not used to seeing him so far up. Now let's look at this pack, Sean, behind him that starts with Chris Gutierrez.
Yeah, Chris Gutierrez actually just got around Michael Goodman, the newcomer. This is his second race this evening. Michael Goodman been fast in practice also. Got to watch him. He's right there with Ron Hacker, Brandon Lickman in that battle. And then we've got James Krahula in the Richardson Bike Mart number 4 DW12 back there in the battle.
Now, again, we're looking at some gremlins. Some of the things that have been happening due to this new patch, for me, and let's go ahead and point it out, is Big Joe Hassard showing in 33rd position. That's something you guys are just going to have to live with. I think all race long you're going to see him in that position right now. Currently, he is running 3rd. So I guess he's running twice as good there, triple 3rd. Not sure if that's actually going to change or not. So anybody behind Joe is going to be off one thing. We're just having to work our way through it. iRacing's going to help us out of this. Jake Wright out in front, Alzaldo, Hassard, and Schowen, your top 4.
Michael Goodman back here trying to make the high line work. Probably just taking care of those tires here early in the race, but he's committed to it right now. He's let a couple cars get by him. Ron Hacker just got by him. Now Brandon Lipkeman working down on that lower line, but Goodman staying dedicated to the top line right now, Sue. He brings it down a little bit right there, makes a liar out of it.
And of course, we have do or die Dawson Brock working as our spotter today, but so far these Lionheart guys have been pretty kind to him as they're just behaving as they're working lap number 6 and be working lap number 7. We'll see what happens, Sean, when these tires begin to go away and the car gets a little lighter. That's one of the things the drivers were talking about. Yeah, you may go a little faster when the fuel runs off, but those old tires may be a handful to keep it on the track.
A lot of patience being displayed throughout the field right now. Dan Guerin working his way up slowly. Got himself up to 27th. Got a little bit of a battle with Matthew Mercer going. Gets by him. Oh, we got a car on the wall. That's going to be Tony Lurcock. And wow, looks like he just avoided the back of Dave Barber. Car got loose. Looked like he had a heck of a run on Dave. Let's check out the replay here, Sue.
I think Dave might have scared him. I don't know if he was expecting Dave. Watch Barber in the dark blue car. Maybe he caught a little bit of a wash there, Sean. Watch, the blue car comes up and there was still room.
Okay,
now we're thinking, go ahead, Sean.
No, you were just about to say it. It looks like it might have been a net code hit there, Sue.
And what's interesting is because he put it up in the wall and the car didn't turn around, stayed on the racing line, and then he was able to exit out, we stay under green. So a double crushing blow, although there are no fast repairs. That would have probably ended his day no matter what.
Yeah, it's at best. It's going to put him several laps down. Battle here in the back of the field. Bob Mikas and Dan Guerin going at it wheel to wheel. Bob not giving an inch. Dan able to slip past him, now pulling the crossover, getting up in front of him. This is a battle back here for 23rd. Dan moving up several spots already.
Not sure what Dave and Penny's baby boy is doing so far back there. He had a horrible qualifying run, qualified 30th. Remember, he's in that points battle also with the guy who had to start at the back. Let's see if we can find out. And let's go up front. We have a battle for the lead here. As George Anzaldo, really got to give him some love. Still can't make this work. We'll go up and look at this lead here again. Now here comes George. Sean, look at him trying to make the high side work, but Wright just hugs that white line, and there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, hugging that white line will come at a cost, though, Soup. You can't do it for the entire run. It's just, it's really hard on the tires. In fact, you can hear it in your helmet when you're driving. You can hear that rubber on the tires just chunking off as you're eating up that bottom line. I always wear my helmet when I'm sim racing, by the way, Soup.
Oh, I do too. When I announce, just to get... Oh.
Got trouble. Looks like, Michael Goodman with big trouble coming out of 4, Soup.
I don't think anyone made him bleed his own blood on that one. He just put it in the wall that it got up in the catch fence.
And you know what? Great job by Goodman, though. Great car control. He's able to keep it up there on the wall. You'll see here on the replay. He's out of control right there, but he manages to turn it back into the wall, and somehow everybody gets by unscathed.
So that knocks another one out. If we've gone 15 laps now into this stint. Michael Goodman says, sorry, guys, that was me. I wrecked. Sorry.
That's such a shame, too, because, I said it earlier, he has been wicked fast in practice. An awful guy, awful fast guy to catch. Hard to catch. That's where I was trying to get at. I spent a couple laps behind him Monday evening, and boy, that New York driver's got a little something. I'm looking forward to seeing his effort next season. He'll be running that DHL number 99 DW12, but that's going to be an early end to his evening. He hit it pretty hard and pretty violent, and I don't know if there's enough repair in that car, to be honest with you. Looks like the whole field going to bring it in, Soup.
Well, I imagine somebody wanted to keep out there and see if they can pick up a lap lead. Did anybody stay out? Boy, my goodness, going all the way down. Nobody had the courage. Usually somebody likes to stay out.
Oh, we got cars spinning on pit road.
Krahula came through pit lane and then did not stop.
Dan Guerin got spun around on pit road, guys. Boy, he's...
And we're going to watch this on replay. Now we're going to find it. Dan Guerin, of course, with that horrible qualifying run.
And Dan on the radio saying he just hit the brakes too much.
Look, we think maybe Knight and Daigle got caught on that one.
Yeah, he did. You can see the wing damage on the car right there.
But good news is it happened coming into his box, so maybe they'll be able to pop that on and off for him.
Oh,
right on board with
that'll
right
certainly
now.
Result in a wing change, but it'll cost him time in the pit for sure. And we are confirming that the front wing was repaired on Pierre's machine.
So we go back live now. Sean, we talked about maybe somebody might stay out. Well, this is his strategy. We've seen it before, and I'm not sure Alfred is actually going to come in. Alfred, Excitement Shepherd, he loves to do this. Qualified 16th, he's up on front now on 17 lap old tires, really only about 15 under green. So now So now will he stay out there? Now, of course, we're going to talk here. It says 33rd. That's our iRacing bug. Alfred E. Shepard on the graphic is going to say 33rd. He is out, or 32nd. He is actually your leader right now.
The Yugo is up front, gaining points.
Poor Shepard gets no love. You know, he finally gets out there in front, and now the overlays won't even give him credit. He can't even take a screenshot to show his family. Sure, Dad, you were in first. Look, it says 33rd.
You know, this is Alfred Shepard's 50th start this week, Soup, so I think it's fitting that he just led a lap and he has decided to bring the car into the pit and get 4 fresh Firestones and fill that thing up with some fuel.
But he's only behind that in that great battle that we've been watching in that Yugo-Lexus battle. He's only behind Lexus by 3 points, so he picks one up right there for leading a lap. So now he's only down by 2. Of course, he's going to be at the back of the pack. Hey, one battle I want to watch is these 2 guys who are fast that have been forced to start at the back. Let's see how they fared. I want to look at Guerin and Robarge and see where they come out. So I kind of sort of looks like Guerin's going to be in about 25th position. Now, Robarge had to start at the back as Jason has got around him. Jason must have had a good pit stop. He's up to 19th. Remember, they're second and third. Well, really, if we take out the real thing Goke out of there, they're second and third battling for that second position on the podium. Look at Robarge. Don't ever change that paint scheme, baby. Love that rainbow DuPont. He's got the DuPont, the actual DuPont logo on there this time.
Yeah, and looking through the field at some of the cars that were involved in that trouble on pit road, it looks like Pierre, again, we've confirmed his car is good. No damage on Dan's car. Dan's car looks straight and should be able to get back up to speed soon. But again, these boys got a lot of work to do for the back of the field. It's going to be tough to get up.
Okay. Since Shepard has pulled into the pits, leading them across the line, working lap number 19, it's Jake Wright, being followed by pesky Dylan Lee in that familiar yellow-colored car out there. Nice going. Sim Nation Machine running in second position. They start to string out. Big Joe Hazard continuing to be shown in, being shown, well, he's not even on the screen right now. He's running in third. He won't show up on the graphic. And then behind him, George Anzaldo running in fourth.
George having a nice pit stop and able to get back on track right where he went out. Good battle going back here between Brandon Limpkeman. He is side by side with Trevor Bissett. Trevor settles back in behind him. That's a battle for 8th place.
Sergeant Bissett dropping that in there in the Lehman's Landing catering. Running in the 80 machine, now trying to get around the flaming car of Brandon Limpkeman. They go side by side. Now we see the inside work. Limpkeman gave him the inside, and Bissett's able to make it work. Hey, let's go up front. Here comes a guy trying to make a move on the outside. That's pesky Dylan Lee, and he's living up to his nickname right now. Giving Jake Wright all that he could hope for, trying to go on the high side, tucking in below. That's Big Joe Hazard. So Hazard right behind Wright on the inside, Lee in that yellow Sim Nation car on the top side. Lee's going to make those guys use up their tires. I'll run out here, he says. You guys stay down there, burn up your rubber. I'll run up here where it's a little nicer. Let's talk in another 20 laps.
Soup, I got to talk about a driver that's taking away another spot. Brian Yazik is taking one away from Ian Adams, going to move up into the top 10. He's trying to put a move on him now. Yazik is only 20 points out of the top, 31 points out of the top 20. The top 20 locks you in for next season. And I got to tell you, he's really battling so far to get himself up to the front of the field. Yazik up 10 positions.
Well, it would be a nice feather in the cap here for us GSRC guys if he's going to do the lap guide. We know he's fast when there's nobody on the track. Let's see what he can do here.
There he goes. Dive into the inside.
The inside is the place to go. Moves up into 9th. And I'm going to correct myself. This is probably the last time I'm going to do that. That 9th position is actually 10th because the driver up ahead of him, Big Joe Hazard, not being registered.
Boy,
I'm gonna make that announcement right now that I'm just gonna go by these numbers on here. Otherwise, I'm gonna constantly be correcting myself. The whole race is gonna be. So you guys at home, if you're scoring at home or even if you're watching alone, just keep in mind that anybody behind Big Joe Hassler is going to be one spot higher than they're shown. Or yeah, I think that's how that works.
all right, so we're seeing a few different packs like we talked about early on here, just before the race, Soup. And all of these packs are good races. Everybody fighting for every inch of real estate they can get.
Let's go to the lead. A great run by oh my goodness. Pesky Dylan Lee had a great run. Now he is side by side. They are Cialis bathtubs around turn 4. Down. Oh, they touch. They go into each other. They both spin. Wright might be able to save it. I think Lee got into the wall. Wright's trying to save it, and he does. Apologies to Jake Wright from Pesky Dylan Lee. We're watching from above. Lee in the yellow car on the outside. Sean Wright on the inside. What do you see?
It just looks like Dylan made a little bit of a mistake, and he fessed up to it. He just had the car bit on him a little bit to the left, and he gets into Jake. And got to be honest, Jake's got pretty good damage on both sides of that car. Let's check it out from Joe's angle. You'll see exactly what happened there, but looks like Dylan just comes right down into him.
You know what? And that spin did not bring out the caution, but now we have one going on right now, and this is Bogan, and Gutierrez got into it.
Yeah.
No, it was not. It was Barber. Oh, the guitar player, living up to his reputation for his profession. He turned him.
Yeah.
So many.
And Jack started moving up the track just a little bit, and Dave was there having a run on the outside.
Oh, boy, there's a lot of talk going on. Everybody trying to sort out what's going on. Our director doing his best to try to cover all the action. There you see, who was that car that got topside? I forgot who it was. It was, it was Bogan, that's right.
Yeah, right. That's Bogan getting on his lid there, and that car is done.
Mama Jean, remember, if you're watching at home, honey, this is just simulated. They're not actually. Jack's fine. He's at home drinking a lemonade right now.
Okay, Jake Wright got to get back out in front of the pace car. I think that means he'll stay on the back of this. He should stay on the rear of this lap.
So the original spin that we had between Lee and Wright up front, since they both kept the car going straight, it didn't bring out the yellow. I have to remember that that's the case. And then almost a few seconds later, almost instantaneously, there was that Bogan and Barber got together. So now the pace car is out right now, and I'm looking at James Krahula, which I think is your leader.
Yeah, and James, he gets the lead by staying out on 14-lap tires.
Now, he may be doing the same thing as our spotter saw this. He may be doing the same thing that Shepard was doing earlier, staying out for that bonus point. Or he may decide to run out there for a while. James is kind of a sneaky guy when it comes to pit strategy. Now, Dylan Lee is right behind him. He made that stop. We're not sure how healthy that car is. Dylan's showing a lap down. But we're thinking that maybe do they do the lucky dog? I guess they would. Is that what we... Oh, well, yeah, we're thinking this is all about Krahula now. I know.
Yeah,
oh, sorry, I was behind. There we go. All right.
Krahula decided to go ahead and bring it down. He's out of the pit.
Yeah, you always forget to update here when you're going back to look at those replays under yellow. You forget to do that. So Krahula has come in. So I apologize if I was sounded like I had a little bit of Alzheimer there, talking about stuff that had long since happened. Take my medicine. So Dylan Lee out in front of the pack, but he's going to get the wave around. That puts... Oh, my goodness, is he having a nice little string here. Chris Stouffer out in front.
Yeah, Chris Stouffer found his way to the front again. Up 8 spots now. He'll lead this race on the restart. Tony Schowen still hanging out around the front there, and George Enzaldo still sitting in the top 5, and Brian Yazik all the way up to 6th now after that cycle of pit stop suit.
Keeping an eye on the guys who had the start of the back. Dan Guerin running in 20th right now. And Jason Robarge, where are you hiding? Oh my goodness, Jason. You are doing it little by little. That Rainbow Machine working its way up close to the top 10, running in 11th. Getting a report that Bob Mikas has left.
He's got damage on the side of his car.
Left sidecar, yeah, I have to finish reading the sentence. 17 has left. I didn't read side pod damage. Okay, that makes more sense now. Mike prides himself on sitting back, staying out of trouble, and trying to be there when it counts. So, pesky Dylan Lee has got the wave around. He's going to come around, pull up all the way around to the back.
This is going to be a pivotal restart here, Soup, I think.
Now, Jake Wright has brought that car back out, so he's a lap down. We'll keep an eye on him. He's going to be fast. Pace car is pulling in right now. Stouffer gets a nice little jump. Tony Schowen have a good run in second, follows in behind. Lipkeman in third, set in fourth. A nice run from Brandon and Trevor there, third and fourth. George Enzaldo been running up front all the time, running in fifth position, but now being challenged on the inside. Here comes Brian Yazik. Top 5 for Mr. Yazik. Nicely strung out, Sean, through the back of the pack.
Yeah.
Pretty much set up.
And that's what I'm doing right now is I'm just going back through the field, making sure everybody's able to keep it on track. A lot of battles. James Carula fighting with Big Joe Hassert.
Pass for the lead. Jumping down to the inside is Tony Schowen. He takes that red and black 31 inside to Stouffer. Is he going to lead across the start-finish line? Stouffer tried to come back. Not going to get there. Schowen's going to get credited with the lap led. But Stouffer back out in front.
Those two really got off to a great restart, up there fighting with themselves just behind them.
Yeah, what's going on right now? It's a little bit of swing your partner do-si-do going on right now. And these guys are swapping positions twice a lap. One on the back straight, one on the front straight. They are teammates.
Trying to get away from Trevor Bissett, who's got a battle right behind him with Brian Yazik and Brandon Lipkeman. Those two are wheel to wheel. Oh, Jason Galvin. We got another set of teammates right there. Galvin and Enzaldo. AGR Motorsports needing a good run to get back in this team battle.
Well, let me tell you, up front, this is some impressive choreography going on right now. Stouffer out in front. Here comes Schowen. They are swapping positions, and it's not hurting either one of them. They are really doing it. They get it done before going into 1 and before going into 3.
Lipkeman almost has trouble there with Yazik, able to get out of it.
Yeah, we're looking on board. We're watching there at Yazik. Currently running, depends on how you want to count it. Looks like he's running fourth.
Oh! Contact between Enzaldo and Dave Barber. What a great job by George of hanging onto the car. It happened coming out of 4. Here's the replay for you. Enzaldo in the Lionheart, DW12. Yeah, and you know what I saw might have been contact. Looked like it might have been another case of netcode, folks.
Oh, yeah, that was a hard hit. What a great job from George to save. You were right, Sean. He's sawing on that wheel. And these aren't the type of machines you can really saw on there.
No, you don't want to be swatting flies with a DW12, not at all. And great recovery by George. But let's go on board with the DirtyBlinds.com onboard camera. Pete Edwins coming across the start-finish line, heading into 1.
Running in 17th right now.
Yeah, and you see the kind of run he gets keeping it low.
What's so great about this series, Sean, is we've been covering now for, I guess, 20 races. Look at the guys up ahead of him running 19. Dan Guerin, Ian Adams, we see him running up front, you know? You never know what you're going to get. This is such a competitive series.
And I'll tell you what, there is some serious racing going on here behind Pierre Tegla. You've got George Anzaldo still in charge. Here comes Ron Hacker down the inside of George. Tyler Turnbull right behind him. Ian Adams making his way through. Dan Guerin, what a pack right there, Sue.
Turnbull makes that inside line work. Of course, that's the Tyler version of the Turnbulls. Both cars painted the same just to give the announcers a hard time.
Almost contact there between Guerin and Ian Adams.
And Hacker was loose as well in front of all of them. This is a great battle going on from 11th back. It is about a 10-car free-for-all. The front is a little nicer up there.
And there's the Butcher getting into it back there. Brian F., the Winn-Dixie 60 side by side with Jared Turnbull. That is a crazy, crazy pack of cars right there, Sue. George running all the way up to the wall. Oh, there was another car that went all the way up to the wall too, but I got a piece of it. That was Ian Adams, actually. He was wide all the way up there top with Anzaldo.
There's another battle going on in front of him, but I don't want to go there yet because I just got a hunch that something's gonna happen here. These guys are not nearly as organized. There it is.
Oh! It was Tyler Turnbull.
And then the other car involved was Ian Adams.
Yep, Ian Adams. Who had already looked like he was fighting the handling on that car a little bit, and they get side by side. Ian might have just gotten a little wicked there off of turn 4. Gets into the side of Turnbull. Sends him spinning through the infield, but we go green here. No caution on that, Sue.
No caution, but a cautionary tale of how to race, and maybe the drivers who are in that pack can look around and say, hey, maybe we better do a little bit of job staying in line here. Let's go ahead and look up at third place. Now, this is what I wanted to cover before. Jason Galvin has worked his way through this pack, and he's running now in third. He's got Jacek behind him, and well, I spoke too soon as Jacek tries to go on the high side. That's a battle for third. Then Robarge is in this mess. Bissett is in there as well. Branch, all big names. Dave Barber, Vincent Blumenthal running ninth, and then the last one rounding that out, Brandon Lichtman.
Well, you know who's really dropped off pace, got me concerned right now, is George Anzaldo. He is just continuing to drop back to the field, having to fend off all kinds of comers, and right, he's got Ian Adams just got by him, and Ian's working some pretty serious damage on the left side of that car. But I don't know that George has been able to recover from that netcode hit he had earlier. It's obvious he got the car off pace. In fact, Brian Neff just got around him too. That's going to slot him back to 18th.
Now the couple, try as they might up front, Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire, actually Chris Stouffer and Tony Schowen, they've been doing their dance, but it really hasn't been working. They're only a second ahead of Galvin, who's coming right now. But Sean, these guys are working on a 30-lap stint right now. We should be seeing pit stops here, within a couple minutes.
It's anybody's game at this point. We'll see. Oh, Robarge almost has contact there with Bissett.
Easy, boys, easy, boys. That back group is a-coming. They've knocked off about another tenth of a second. If they get a little bit up there, they'll get in the tow. Not sure if running side by side is going to help them, though.
Yeah, Robarge picking up his age yard. teammate right there in front of him, Galvin.
One caution, well, I guess 2 cautions so far, if I could read my notes. Uh-oh, now.
Oh, boy, Ian Adams almost lost it in turn 2. He was down on the apron. He got too much apron. The car came all the way around on him. He was able to gather it up. George Gonzalo gets back around him. He's losing it again. Losing it again in 4.
Yeah.
Hang on, Ian.
You know, I'm not sure how well that car's handling. Remember, he got in, I think that was the car that got into it with Turnbull, I think.
Yeah, no, he's got front wing damage. He's got damage on the left side. That car is really beat up and obviously not handling well.
Just trying to ride it out here for the next 6 or 7 laps until the pit window opens. The last thing he wants to do is come in and then have a caution come out and get stuck a lap down. Looks like everyone's going to try to run this as long as they can, run it till it's dry. They're currently working lap number 56 of 133.
Well, if that's...
Got to spin.
Ian Adams, that car finally gets around. Yeah, we're going to have to catch that on a replay.
Mercer gets around him. Oh my goodness, maybe Bluen might be fun to look at it. Not sure how he got around him. Woo!
Again, you know, Ian gets it down on the apron again. That's where he almost lost it on the previous lap, and it happens to him again, and that time he can't save it.
The spin happens way in front of him. Look how long he has to go, but it's so, where are you going to go? It's so...
Hey, that smoke plays a big factor. It maybe doesn't even show up on camera quite as good as it does when you're sitting in the car. You're blind there for just a moment as we see the leaders make their way in for a pit stop. I'd say that was an opportune moment for a pit stop, wouldn't you, Sue?
Well, yeah, Ian Adams was hoping for that yellow flag, but he didn't want to be the yellow flag, and
yeah, you never want to be the yellow flag.
He was doing his best to try to hang in there. All right, everybody coming in. Of course, I say that every time, seeing if anyone's going to stay out.
Look at this battle coming. Oh! Robarge gets into the back of, who was that? Into the back of Chris Gutierrez, getting off of pit lane. Gutierrez spun around, still sitting on pit lane, trying to get himself out. Check this out on the replay, Sue.
Yeah, was quite a hornet's nest of cars there.
Yeah, they were all really, really close, nose to tail, and I hate to say it, but Robarge looked to just get a little bit of a
Gutierrez is going to his pit lane.
He was going into his, right, exactly, and probably slowed down right there, and of course that's probably what we just saw happen. I wasn't sure where Gutierrez's pit box was on that.
I think it might have been right there. He might have spun right into it. Actually, he does a good job of spinning around. And talking about spinning around, it's probably a good time for us to spin around into a commercial here. Well, we actually don't have a commercial, but we will take a short break. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel. We're going to be back before they go green. Back in a few. The lights are off the fluorescent yellow pace car as it is working. Currently, our leader, Chris Stouffer, working lap 60 of 133. This is the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the... Let's actually give the title of the race here. If I can pull that up, I really should have that handy. Race for the Cure 200. Thank you very much, Director. This is the penultimate race on the Lionheart 22 race schedule. Our leader right now is Chris Stouffer. Call him Butter because he's on a roll. Coming off a win last week at Kansas. He's out in front again, trying to make it 2 in a row. Tony Schowen having a good showing right now. Up there in front, right behind Stouffer in second. Brian Yasek, he's good on an empty track doing those lap guides, and right now running third as the pace car working its way around the fourth corner, going to be pulling in. The rest of your top five is going to be made up. Bakersfield's own Jason Galvin and Trevor Brissett.
And Galvin having a really nice run. Schowen almost gets in the wall. Yasek up to first. We talked about that 32 points to secure his place in the top 20. He's doing everything he can now. Galvin takes it away from him, down on the bottom. Schowen going to split the middle, going into one. No, he's not. He's going to ease off there, stay on the inside. Bissett up there on the high line.
One thing I love about the Lionheart series is the names shake up. We haven't talked much about him, but now he's up in front. Jason Galvin in that blue and gold KGET machine, followed right behind by Brian Yasek. Then third place, that number 80 car of Trevor Brissett. Lehman's Landing.
Oh, Yasek gets a run on Galvin, has to make an evasive move to the top, right in front of Brissett.
The Lehman Landing's car looking for somewhere to go, and Brissett trying to find a way around, staying on the inside. So now, Yasek stuck on the high side. High side seems to be a little more competitive than it was early. Maybe it's coming in a bit. Back and fourth and fifth in the double popcorn position there. Tony Schowen and Chris Stouffer. Stouffer saying, wasn't I in front here just a minute ago?
Okay, then we've got another crazy pack just behind them, Soup, being led by the guitar player himself, Dave Barber. I'm just stumbling right now. Too many cars to keep track of on track still. Joe Branch just behind him. Jason Robarge in that mix. Brandon Lipkeman.
As they coming around, all the cars on the lead lap now going to be working lap 67. If I learned my second grade math, okay, from Sister Mary Catherine, I believe that's the halfway mark on this 133 lap race.
Well, Ian Adams got the front wing repaired. Car sticking to the track now. He's got James Corula just behind him, and we've got Tyler Turnbull, Matthew Mercer, Bob Mikus. That's another good little pack of cars right there, trying to make their way back up through the field.
There is fighting everywhere, including what we're watching. It's what a great camera shot right now. Maybe we got to go up front. We got a guy trying to make a move on the high side. That is the Sergeant, Trevor Brissett. He just powered his way around Brian Yasek up on the top side. Now let's see what he can do. He gets a good run. I think he has visions of the lead right now, trying to get a run on Jason Galvin. Oh, he's going to get a great toe. Look at this run. He gets off a 2. He tries to make a move on the top side. Galvin trying to make that car as wide as a Julia Roberts smile. Not going to work side by side through 3 and 4. But the good run off from Galvin. Trying to do a little dipsy-do underneath. Oh my goodness. That was Bissett. Wasn't sure what he's doing. I think Bissett would like maybe try to get down underneath now. He's trying to hug that white line right up behind Galvin. Yasek starting to get a little bit nervous watching what's going on in front of him. Sean, you really can't force somebody if they want that inside line. There's really no way to get underneath them.
No, not unless you want to wreck the car.
No chrome horn here from these guys.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Now, Jake Wright had to come in the pit.
Remember, Jake was a lap down because of that contact. He might just be calling it a day, going to maybe cash in on that 11-point in the pocket drop insurance that he has. Now these guys are working their way around the lap car. Staying on the high side. That's Jake Wright who's out there.
Yeah, that's Jake. They're getting all past now.
Let's see as they come around here. I believe that's going to drop Jake probably 2 laps down. Let's see if I'm correct on that. 1 only. Nope, now it shows me 2. Now it just came up 2, so here we go. Timing and scoring sometimes a little bit slow to update. You know, I know there's battles all through the pack, but Sean, I just got a hunch something's going to happen here with this thing going on up front.
I was just about to say the same thing. I just feel like this is a ticking time bomb up here with these two, with Bissett and Galvin hooked up, and poor Brian Yazik, and the guy that's sitting back there saying, please keep me out of it. But if you get in it, I'm going to really try and get around you and get by it and take this lead. They better be careful. We still got a long ways to go here, Sue.
Each time around, Sergeant Bissett is giving Galvin a little less room on the top side, trying to get in there as close as he can. Trying to figure out also. This time he dives high. Now look at this run he gets. He got high and he gets this great dive. He dives the car down into the corner. Got a great run off of 2. Now watch him try to squeeze Galvin down. He doesn't want it, but then he drifts up. As soon as he drifts away from Galvin, he loses all of his momentum. Might need a little bit of help, maybe. Can Yazik actually push him along? I'm not talking bump drafting, but you think the car would go faster if he gets in behind him?
Okay, so this is Act 2. I saw this last night in the practice race. Galvin had the same car behind him trying to get around, and he could never pull it off. I think maybe we should just pay attention to the line that Galvin is running, and you might get an idea why it's hard to get around him, why it's hard to pass. It's like you said, something about Julia Roberts' smile. If you make that smile just wide enough at the right time, Soup, you might get kissed.
That's it. Well, it's not even so much about making the car wide. I mean, he's hugging that white line like a tight pair of Fruit of the Looms. He's hugging the inside.
Yeah, and then when he gets off the exit, car never really leaves the bottom to open up a line on the bottom. Goes up just high enough to make it really hard to get a good run on the outside and get around. Trouble on the backstretch, apparently. Ian Adams has spun.
Boy.
Might have gotten a little assistance there from one of the turnbuckles. Let's look at it from above. Maybe we get a better angle of that and see if there was some help there to Ian.
And it could be maybe a little net good here. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe just a little. That's one of the things here on iRacing on these really, really super fast tracks. Sometimes you see a little more of the net code than you would, not normally see. This combination of car and track, again, very, very fast. A lot of data being exchanged very quickly, and sometimes the connection between the server and the drivers don't always catch up with that. Man, they are still side by side.
I just can't. Oh, now he goes high. Now he might have brushed the wall. He might have got up a little top. We're talking about Bissett there.
A bit of a mistake by Bissett. Allows Yazik to get around.
Oh, and then right behind him, that is Stouffer getting in the mix. Oh. I know we're wrapping up the season. Just a little advice going into season number 5 to the Turnbulls. I know you guys are cousins. You're a close-knit family. But if you'd like to be called something other than one of the Turnbulls, let's change up your paint scheme a little bit more for us, because
actually, uncle and nephew, Sue, not cousins. Yes,
okay.
Uncle and nephew. And I'm not even remembering which one is which right now. I think Tyler is the nephew, if I remember correctly. No, yes, Tyler is the nephew. Jared's the uncle. That is correct. I do have that right.
I think I got a nickname. I think we're going to go with Uncle Turnbull next time. That has a ring to it.
I like that. I do like that.
All right, Sean, I think they've settled down up front a bit. Maybe we can go back now and look for somebody else now that Bissett is out of the mix. There, we're looking at Branch in that nice battle with Lincoln side by side.
Hey, you know what? There are several battles going on. Brian Neff has got himself up to 15th right now. He's up 16 spots and having a good battle with George Anzaldo right now, who seemed to have found pace again a little bit, doing a little bit of work here with Neff. They are teammates. Neff, an AGR member. Not one of the A's, the G's, or the R's, but he is Brian Neff, the Butcher.
Oh, I'm gonna plead ignorance. AGR stands for the initials in the drivers?
Anzaldo, Galvin, and Robarge.
Oh my goodness, how can I be 20 races into this season and didn't know that?
And I just hung you out to dry on that one there, Soup. I thought you knew that.
I did not.
Oh! Almost contact there between George Anzaldo and Dylan Lee. I think that was contact. I don't think it was almost. They were right up on each other.
We're going to watch it above. Lee in that bright yellow car and Zaldo in the darker colored black and red machine. Lee on the low side.
Very, very close.
That battle
still battling hard.
Continues for 15th spot. Hey, new leader up front. Well, maybe we spoke too soon. Side by side, Yazik and Galvin. Yazik on the inside, Galvin on the outside. Yazik's going to get credit for that lap. Galvin not giving up the ghost. Finally,
boy,
Jason forced to get off that white line.
I know Yazik would just be off his rocker if he won this race tonight.
I went back a little bit to see how that pass was made because I didn't think Galvin, honestly, was made on the top side. Oh, Galvin made a mistake. He drifted up, and that let Yazik peek underneath. Sean, I imagine that as the run goes on, it might be harder to keep that car down low, like you were talking about.
Yeah, oh, definitely it is. Yeah, it's well, first of all, it wants to. It really, really wants to bite to the left, okay? It wants to get really tight on you. And, of course, if you get tight and the rear end starts to come around, then you, of course, get really loose, and that's not what you want to be. Yeah. It's tough to exist down there. You really have to start kind of diamonding the track off a bit or even just committing yourself to that, either that center groove or just above it.
Well, we're on a 33-lap stint right now, so the cars are lighter, the tires are worn. We have 43 to go.
Yeah,
right? They're not in the window yet.
They're not, and I don't know if they're going to get in that window. It's going to be really, really close.
Right now, it's a 34 with 42 to go. They got to get those numbers to match up. Each time they come around, it's one more lap of a stint and one less lap they have to go.
Yeah, I don't think they can do many more than 38 laps, Soup, so they just might get this.
Oh, it's going to be so
get in
close.
This window.
I would imagine with Galvin up front so much that if anybody has to come in early, it would be him. Probably also Bissett, who was working so hard. Those guys were working really tough. I would think that maybe... Oh, here's the car in the wall. Lincoln is going to bring out the yellow. We don't see it yet. He pinwheeled himself down to the track. He got caught up. Those are those guys. Branch was in it, but neither car turned around. Limkeman pinwheeled into the pit lane. That's not going to bring out the yellow. Branch stayed straight, and Limkeman went off the racing line.
Galvin coming into the pit suit. We're going to go on board the replay here real quick. Joe Branch in the middle of the turn, and Limkeman comes up the track right into Branch. That's push. That's the push. The push is real, Sue.
Galvin coming in, having gone 38 laps, and when he comes out, there'll be 38 laps to go. So I guess we're good to go from here.
It's gonna be awful close. Yes, sir. Everybody else coming in.
Does not surprise me that Galvin was one of the earlier ones to come in, though, after he was working so hard, burning up fuel.
Galvin's off. Galvin's off. Here he comes.
So now what Galvin has to hope for is that this thing does not go yellow.
Oh, man, that would be really, really bad at this point.
Lots of cars pitting in
Yeah,
here.
but I'll tell you what. Here's the news. Everybody's coming in.
Yazik coming in, we get. So now if we can pick up Yazik, we can go ahead and find where Galvin is. I think Galvin is going to be the leader of all the cars that are taking that stop. Timing and scoring don't
Matthew
fail me
Mercer
now.
having trouble on pit road, Sue.
I think
There's Galvin. Galvin in 3, coming out of 4.
And Zalda coming out, looking to see who's still out there running.
Turnbull, Jared Turnbull still on track. Chris Gutierrez, Turnbull, Gutierrez, both coming in now. Galvin's still pedaling hard here.
Yeah, Yazik is out in front. That's what I was looking for.
He's got momentum, though. I think Galvin's got a little bit more momentum than Yazik does right now. He's catching him quick.
Work their way around, 35 to go. We assume they have enough. Here comes Galvin. He's certainly in the tow. So Yazik out in front. Galvin has about 1.3 seconds back to, I guess it's going to be Stouffer.
Yeah,
Stouffer right now in behind Shepard. Shepard's a lap down.
Yeah. Stouffer trying to use him a little bit, too.
And Galvin has got there. Wakey Wakey Bakersfield out in front. Jason Galvin, the number 42 KGET machine, in the lead. He's got one win under his belt so far this season. Not sure if Brian Yazik can say the same thing as he's running back there in second.
No, Yazik doesn't have a win in this series yet, but sure would love to get one tonight. Although Galvin, I think, told me he would wear the checkered flag tie in the morning on the broadcast, so gonna have to tune in for that stream if he wins this evening.
Well, he's got a good chance of it now because these two guys are well out in front, and right now they are very anti-yellow. They'd like to see this thing go green as they are 1.2 seconds ahead of Stouffer, and Stouffer has no help other than Alfred E. Shepard, and not sure how much assistance the Shepard's going to be able to do here.
Well, here's the good news for Stouffer. He's not losing to them right now. He's running at the exact same pace as they are. So, he's hoping on a mistake. That can happen. All he's got to do is keep working with Shepard here. Not a bad thing to do. It's helping him out, actually. It's keeping him within shooting distance here.
Looking through here for any battles. Also trying to see if I can pick up where is Tutwiler here, as we always like to keep an eye on that. Tutwiler on the lead lap running 14th. So it looks like Lexus is going to pick up a little bit on the Yugo here. Yugo currently running 21st.
You know, really, the biggest mover in the field right now is our leader. It's Jason Galvin. He's up 23 spots to find himself in first place right now. Dan Guerin's still snaking his way up through the field. Right. He's back there in 8th. He started at the back up 22 spots.
Yeah, the two cars we were looking at, Guerin running in 8th position right now. The other guy we keep an eye on is Jason Robar. She had to start because of that end-of-the-line penalty from being a little too aggressive the last races. You get a couple, 2 slaps on your wrist, 2 in a row, and they send you back to the back of the line before they get a little more severe. Right now, he's up to 12th. Meanwhile, our leader's out there running comfortably. Yeah, let's go ahead and run down the field right now, if I can get my software to work right. Let's go ahead and get on the right camera set for me, and I think we'll do it. Out in front. We're going to give these 2 at a time because It's Brian Yosick, Sean, and Jason Galvin. That's how it is right now. Who you got back in third?
All right, we'll go back to that next battle. That's going to be between Stouffer and Schowen. Chris Stouffer, Tony Schowen digging it out.
Then we drop all the way back. One of our cousins, well, one of our uncles. This is Uncle Turnbull here. Is this Jared?
That's Uncle Turnbull. That's right.
Uncle out in front, running in 5th position. He's got about a 2-second lead on James Grahula, running in 6th. Sean.
All right, back to 7th. That's Dan Guerin picking another one up. Battling with Trevor Bissett.
Then right behind him is a nice 3-car battle in 9th position. Dylan Lee in that beautiful yellow machine. Pierre Nightingale running. In fact, here they come. These guys are making a move. There goes Lee. There goes Daigle. And the other car I wanted to talk about, 10th position, is Trevor Bissett. And those guys are working their way around. Bissett running in 11th now. Hacker is the guy I wanted to mention. Hacker up to 10th.
Yeah, well, Hacker on the charge right now for sure. Bissett slotting back well, you know, we got several positions changing here now, Soup. We try to get through this field here, and guys getting off pace. But now Bissett is in 11th. Brobarge is in 12th, Soup.
There you go. Then I can pick up 2 more back here. 14th and 15th. Tyler Turnbull and Ed Tutwiler. Tutwiler out in front of them. Yeah, 13th is George Anzaldo. We missed. He's in there. Just got around the lap car of Brian Neff. Let's see if we can pick up...
Yep. Oh, then we go to Robert Bluen and
There
Dave Barber back there in 16th and 17th. His position still changing in front of them, Soup.
Then the last couple cars on the lead lap. I guess we're going to look at Bob Micus running just a little bit behind Barber. He's running 18th. And your final 2 cars on the lead lap, I believe, Patrick Taylor. Mercer, actually. Mercer now up in 19th and Taylor in 20th. There we go. And that's all the cars on the lead lap as they go around Jake Light, who's a couple back. Now, Sean, I guess with lap times of only 24 seconds and with only 22 laps to go, what time is it?
Soup, it's time to boogie, baby. Let's get this party started. If you're looking to win this race, you better get busy. Stouffer is doing exactly that. He's starting to pick up just a little bit of ground on Jason Galvin. And I tell you what, he's got just enough time to get it done. I think 21 laps left to go. I think he can get it done. I'm sorry, 20 laps left to go. I think he can get it done.
When we started that through the field, it was an interval of 1.2 seconds. It was about 0.8 of a second right now. And what a good job from Shepard hanging in there. Remember, he's a lap down, but I think he might be helping Stouffer a little bit. 20 to go as our leaders now work around the lap car, staying up on the high tide. My goodness, it is so strange to see Jake Wright.
How many times have you said that, passing the lap car of Jake Wright?
Well, I say passing the lap car before then I go to look who it is, and my God, that can't be right.
That can't be right, exactly. It's a mirage. He's human. We just found out he bleeds. Oh, my.
You know what's annoying? Not only is he good leading the car, he's a real good back marker as well.
Bear claw for him? Yes?
Yeah, I'm...
All right.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll let me give a bear claw to... Yeah, bear claw. Jake, come on down to the Back Marker United meeting if you like. You earned your bear claw.
We could make him a guest speaker, you know, Sue. That wouldn't be bad. He could do
from a different perspective of what it's like to be a leader.
He could talk to us about winning, right?
Don't get our hopes up. Okay. Hey, I think we might have a pass for the lead. Here comes Galvin, ducking to the inside. And I don't think really that Yosick minded that much. Kind of just let him have that. Sean, I must confess, I don't have my teams in front of me. Are Galvin and Yosick, are they teammates or are they from different teams?
No,
I don't believe they are.
They are. Galvin is on AGR. Yosick, I'm trying to remember if Yosick's on a team.
No Name
Racing. That's right. Yes.
Oh, there we have it right down there. Hey, look, those graphics are working. Thank you, Director.
Yeah, Yosick was a late addition to No Name Racing, I believe, earlier this season.
Well, this is big for AGR because remember, they're in that battle with Adrenaline, so any points that Jason Galvin can pick up for them as they're trying to be that final team on that podium. 16 to go, and look just a little bit back, knocking on the door. saying, hello, can I join the party? They're saying, did you bring any music? Did you bring anything to drink? Is Chris Stouffer.
Yeah, that battle is that battle up front is costing them because here comes Stouffer to the party. That is an adrenaline motorsports driver, by the way. Hey, Chris Stouffer.
3 drivers up front, 3 different teams. The gold and blue car, the KGET machine of Stouffer. I guess it's kind of blue and black and yellow machine of Yazik. And then the red and black. Boy, those are fighting colors right there of Chris Stouffer. Big Chevrolet on the back of that car. Adrenaline Motorsports on the side. And here he is a-comin'. As it's a 3-car battle now. Galvin on the inside, Yazik on the outside. Stouffer back behind looking for somewhere to go. As they come across a baker's dozen worth of laps when they cross the finish line.
Stouffer out there right now, just a cornflake looking for a little bit of milk. Gets it down there on the apron. Car gets a little wicked on him.
But we got trouble because there's a battle up here for Mercer, Micus, and Patrick. This is a battle for 18th. They're on the lead lap. These guys have been fighting. Let's see if they know that there's cars coming. Somebody yell car, and all the kids get out of the street. Wait for the cars to go by before you pick up the fun again. There goes. They get by one. They get by Mercer. Galvin now working on Micus. The thank you all from Galvin. Very appreciative. One more to go, Jason, and that's Patrick Taylor.
Bissett gonna have to bring the car into pit.
Yeah.
He's calling in now. The Von Hansens meets.
Ooh.
DW12 coming into the pit, making me hungry.
Something must have happened. He was only on a 25-lap stint, so I don't think it was fuel. Remember, we saw Bissett up front running for a long time.
I guess he's not going to pit. He decided to stay out. He's still out there.
Bissett has come in, and now the leaders. Now Galvin gets around, Yazik gets around, and Stouffer gets around. That lap car was actually an advantage to Galvin. He could hold that inside line, and with the lap car up high, there was no room for Yazik to go. They come across, and it is how many laps are left to race? Number 9 is all there are. Boy, Yazik gets very high.
Number 9? Number 9?
Thank you. You got that one, huh? All right, side by side, Cialis Bathtubs one more time into 3. But one more time, that inside line that Galvin has seems to be good. Boy, but a great run on the top side from Yazik. They come across, and that's something to remember because Yazik is going to be credited with the lap. So it can be done. He may not be able to hold it all the way down the back straight, but it's good to know through 3 and 4, you can actually get to the start-finish line first. Getting very loose is Stouffer, dropping out of the mix.
The push is real, and now he's got to worry about 3rd place because here comes Patrick Taylor. Oh, I'm sorry, Patrick Taylor, a lap down. My bad.
All right, now here comes trying the high side again. Galvin hugging that inside. Yazik trying to make the top side work. High, wide, and handsome. Let's see what kind of drive he can get off. I saw him have a better drive. Usually he comes into turn 3 side by side. That's the only way he's going to make it work. Now he's trying to get underneath him again. Look at the drive he gets off. Not going to get there this time, but it was close. And here comes Stouffer. Stouffer's got to be getting a little bit frustrated now with 6 to go. He's got to find a way. I don't think he's going to be able to get it done from 3rd. Great run this time from Yazik on the high side. Now he's going to come even Steven as they go through 3. But Galvin starts to pull away, but this is a place that Yazik can get the drive. If he gets into 3 closer, then he has a chance at it. Is he going to get credited with the lead this time? No, it's going to be Galvin by 2 1/1000ths of a second. 5 to go. This is where I plead now for all the guys racing back 4th through 30th. I know you're in a battle. Keep it off the wall. Keep it off the grass. We want to see how this thing finishes. If it goes yellow right now, the yellow will come out. Will not have a green flag finish. There'll be no attack this time as Yazik had no momentum on the backside. Now Yazik tries to get on the outside through 1 and 2. Stouffer still frustrated. The track is just not wide enough for somebody to get there from 3. Stouffer trying to duck on the inside of Yazik. That's all wonderful for Jason Galvin back there saying, you know what, Yazik? Stouffer thinks your mother's ugly. And then he says to Stouffer, Yasik thinks your sister is not the kind of girl you want to know. He's trying to get those guys to battle because he's out in front right now all by himself. But here comes Yasik now on the outside trying to make it work. Not going to happen. 3 to go right now, Sean.
Keep calling it, Soup. I don't want to get off that battle.
All right. Yasik was trying to force his way underneath the white line. It's not going to work. My apologies to the mothers and sisters of both of those drivers, but there's no rules right now. And the caution is out.
Oh.
And I think across the finish line, Yasik causes the caution that is going to give Mrs. Galvin iron the checkered tie, because I think with 1 or 2 laps of yellow to go, Jason Galvin is going to pick up his second win of the season. Look at that as Brian Yasik barrel rolls down the front straight.
Got to do this for Yasik. Put it out! The yellow's out, and it's Yasik on his lid and tumbling all over the front straight. I'm sorry, Brian. Tough end to a great race for you, but man, going out with a blaze of glory for sure.
We give a thanks to all the guys who are running back fourth back to 32nd, who were able to keep it on the track. If we're going to get a yellow that closes it, at least it came from the guys who are fighting for the lead right now, assuming that Jason Galvin has enough petrol to limp around this final 3/4 of a mile. He's on the back straight right now. We're going to call a second win for Jason Galvin. Second place is going to go, we assume, is going to go to the black and red machine of Chris Stouffer. A win last week, a second place this week's not so bad. Who we have going to round out our podium? Could it be? Hey, Tony Schowen. Nice job from him. Started second, was able to run all the way up. But how about a run from 24th to the lead from Jason Galvin? Woo!
Boy, I'll tell you what, I think they're going to be happy in the newsroom tomorrow morning. Going to have to get up early for that broadcast. That's about 2 hours earlier than I'm used to getting up.
That's right, because Jason's going to have a late night tonight because he has an appointment in the interview room. Working the last corner under yellow. The blue and gold KGET machine from Bakersfield. Wakey Bakersfield's own Jason Galvin wins round number 20. Give me the name of this race, Director. The Race for the Cure 200.
Yes, sir. The Race for the Cure 200 in support of Cancer Awareness Month and the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure and American Cancer Society. Great race here tonight. 200 miles of DW12 action in hot Atlanta. And, brother, it was hot tonight. Congratulations to Jason Galvin.
Well, I know that Sean and I and Jan did all had a good time calling this one. That was very entertaining. I hope all of you watching enjoyed it as well. Action throughout the entire race, including the very end, and then a crash. Congratulations to Jason Galvin. What we're going to do is catch our breath, take a little sip of tea here with some lemon. Then we'll be back to call the entire grid all the way through, do driver interviews, and close up shop. Back in just a few. You're watching the Global Sim Racing Channel. Soup and Crackers behind the mic. I'm Jed Yaman behind the mixing board. This is a Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Give it to me again, guys. I lost my note.
The race for the Cure 200. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Such a noble cause. You think I could remember the dang title there? And we're going to get to our finishing order here. The entire field of 33 drivers. Up on front, we have no graphic for this one, so we're going to do this old school like radio. Jason Galvin, Chris Stouffer, and Tony Shallen go 1, 2, 3 for the podiums. Rounding out the top 5, it was Ron Hacker and James Krahula. Just to update you here, Galvin started 24th, made up 23 positions to get that win. Dylan Pesky Lee was up front battling for a little bit while, running in 6th. Uncle Jared Turnbull gets 7th. Dan Guerin tried to get up from 30th, could never really get into the hunt, made it all the way up to 8th. Pierre Nightingale in 9th position, and the nephew, Tyler Turnbull, going to round out the top 10. Sean?
George Ansaldo going to take the 11th spot. I'm sure he's going to be okay with that. That's not a bad run at all. Robert Bluin's going to finish 12th. Ed Tutwiler in 13th. Dave Barber, the Flaming O's DW12, 14th. Matthew Mercer going to finish 15th. He is the first car a lap down. Patrick Taylor, 16th. I tried to put him in the race there at the end. Alfred Shepard going to come home 17th. Pete Edwards, 18th tonight. Jason Robarge, man, he just got into some bad luck there. Started 32nd, still finishes 19th, a lap down. Not a bad night altogether. Chris Gutierrez going to round out the top 20.
And I'm going to cue our director also to get our graphic for the last chance bracket to come up, because we have some big news on that one. We had some glitches. We weren't able to get that, but this is going to be exciting. As we look at 21st position now, that's going to be Brian Yosick, and then Bob Mikas is going to be in 22nd. 23rd going to go to Trevor Brissett. Brian Neff in the double dozen position. Jake Wright was able to come home in 25th spot. Then Joe Branch is going to round it out in 26. I'm sorry, Vincent Bruthelfall in 26. Joe Branch in 27th. Brandon Lincoln in 28th. Ian Adams and Big Joe Hazard. We saw him up front. They run into trouble, finishing 56 and 57 laps down. Joe Bogan, 105 laps behind. Michael Goodwin, Tony Lurcock with early problems are going to round it out 32nd and 33rd. Whew. Okay, let's go ahead, indeed. Sean. Let's go ahead and let's bring in here. Let's go ahead and talk. We'll both talk to him here, Sean, because he's a friend of both of ours. Let's go ahead and bring in your winner tonight from Good Morning Bakersfield. I think I got the official name of that one right this time. In the KGET machine, that is going to be Jason Galvin. Congratulations, Shakin'. Second win of the season.
Well, Soup, thank you. 17 news at sunrise, but that's okay.
Not even close.
Nope. Remember, we're NBC, so we're Today Show affiliated.
I understand now.
Not that
right.
GMA stuff. Hey, it's okay.
I like Wakey Bakey Bakers.
No, I like Wakey Bakey is much better. I'm petitioning actually to change that at work.
Well, we got a lot to talk about with you. First of all, before that battle at the end, how about that battle with Bissett where he kept trying to, about the middle of the race, you were just hugging that inside line, and then finally, I guess it might have been Krahula got under, or somebody got under you there. Great battle up front for you for a long time, though.
Yeah, I tell you, I got to give Trevor credit. I got to give everybody credit. We ran up front with. We ran wheel to wheel. Centimeters apart. And I even made a comment to Trevor at one point and messaged him or yellow like, hey, maybe we should both calm down. I was worried about netcode. We had so many netcode issues, and I don't even want to get into to last week. I sent him a message like, hey, better to finish third and fourth than wreck, and he agreed, and then we went right back to it, and nothing ever happened, and that's a testament to the talent that we have in this league. Guys like Trevor Brissett, who hasn't won a race in this league, but his time's coming. We got a lot of good guys that were running up front tonight and have really run up front here the second half of the year, and I don't know that a year ago this league was in a position where I trusted myself next to everybody in the field, but we certainly are now, and that's a big testament to what George Ansaldo and the admin team has done here with Lionheart.
Well, let's talk about the actual driving. You were on that inside line for so long. Is it hard when the tires start to go? Is it hard to keep that car down low?
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, I think it's hard for somebody to keep it in the middle when the tires start to go too. So there's kind of wiggle room for everybody. But you know what the worst part of it for me was, more so than managing the tires, was that I clipped the apron off of 2 a couple times. The 2's got this real easy turn to it, and the car wants to keep turning. And then it's like borderline dizzying, because you have to be so locked on to the white line so that you don't come up into somebody above you, that you're just staring at basically one spot. Out the front of the car for, 40, 50 laps, however many laps we were up front there at the end with the green flag pit stop mixed in. That's actually was the harder part for me. It was almost like mental fatigue. Like I had to just keep telling myself, just hit your marks, just hit your marks, just hit your marks. And thankfully, we were able to stay out in front long enough, and then got kind of lucky with the timing of that yellow at the end.
Well, we got one more thing to talk about, and that is the last chance bracket that we've been covering here for a while. You needed to finish ahead of Jake Wright and 4th or better, and my gosh, a win will do it for you. So talk about a Cinderella, a 10th seed. You knocked off a lot of big guys. You win that bracket championship. Congratulations on that too.
I honestly had stopped paying attention to it because of the way last week went. And I mean, for the way that last week went to happen. The way that it did is I was so mad. I went on a rant in the admin channel. I went on a bigger rant to my teammates. I think George and Jason wanted to hang me last week. I mean, it was bad. I was so just frustrated. I mean, I DQ'd out of a race without ever doing anything wrong because of netcode and just circumstances, So, to rally back like this, I knew we had a good race car last night, and I also knew that for some reason I sucked at qualifying. And I get a lot of crap on the team. I'm the guy who doesn't practice qualifying at all and qualifies in the top 10. And I practiced qualifying a ton for this track and couldn't qualify at all. But I knew if we could just stay clean and race through the field, we'd be all right. And everything worked out tonight. Jason Robarge came through the field with me. Brian Neff had a good run going for a while there too. I think he had an issue on pit road. George and Zaldo ran great all night and just had some bad luck. But the AGR cars have been really strong here in the second half of the season, and I think that we're all working together at the right time, and it's paying off. I never thought, a year and a half ago when I joined this league, that I'd win 2 races, let alone 2 in 3 months here and on the second half of the year. So we're all peaking at the right time, and this will help in points after last week. And just got to thank everybody on the team and everybody on the admin team. And I can't thank Brandon Linkman and First Medical Equipment enough for sponsoring the league this year and everything that they've done for us. It's just been a huge addition for us, and it's just incredible. The group of guys that we race with week in and week out, it's the best show on iRacing, I think. I don't think that's particularly close. You call me crazy or whatever, but And hey, we threw the pink wheels on it for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and then we went out and won the American Cancer Society Susan G. Komen for the Cure race that Pete Edwins was nice enough to sponsor too. So my best friend had cancer. It wasn't breast cancer, but I mean, cancer's cancer, and anybody out there who's ever fought it and won, or has somebody that fought it and lost, that's why we do these things, and we're always thinking about you guys. So great run, and looking forward to closing out the season at the home track at Auto Club.
And
right.
Jason, the checkered flag tie in the morning, correct? Yes?
Yes, sir. Checkered flag,
right.
Checkered flag tie in the morning. I might have to wear some blue or yellow for Yatzik. He had a. I didn't realize he was the one that brought the yellow out at the end until I watched that. And look, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I chopped him, but he made a move he had to make, and I made a move I had to make, and Stouffer almost squeaked by both of us there, but it was a lot of fun. So Brian, if you're watching, I'm sorry, but I'm not, because I'd like to think that you did the same thing and we raced each other clean all night. So, but hey, thanks to you too. You guys do a great job. We appreciate everything GSRC does for us too.
All right, we'll have the stream up in the morning, buddy.
Copy that. We'll see you at Auto Club.
All right, Soup. That was Jason Galvin, the big winner this evening.
Jason Galvin, never short of words there. Great interview from Jason. Man, it makes our life easy when we get to the booth. All right, who do we got here? We're looking at, who do you want,
Christopher. We got Christopher in the booth. Yes, Christopher. 2 weeks in a row. He's got himself here on the podium. 2 weeks in a row in the booth with us. Great run tonight, Chris.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot. I would have liked to run that or finish that one under green, that's for sure.
Yeah, you were certainly... You certainly made your way up through the field. You had to work hard there in the second half of the race, and What was the key to staying out of trouble for you this evening?
Honestly, I think it was just a little bit of luck. That first wreck happened. I had that one wreck happened in front of me, and then I think right there at the end, I'm not sure if Brian got loose or not. Right below me, and that happened a couple times right there out of 3. So I think I was just lucky being in the right place at the right time.
Well, your team locked up in quite a battle with AGR Motorsports right now, and you've certainly done everything you can as a teammate the last couple of weeks to make that gap even closer. You have another great run tonight, and you just got to feel satisfied right now to pull that off 2 weeks in a row as the season's winding down. Everybody wants good momentum heading into the next season, don't they?
Oh, for sure, yeah. Season definitely didn't go like I had planned or envisioned, and last week definitely helped getting that win. And I think this is a little bit of karma coming back at me. I think I lost that race when that caution came out by about the same amount of time that I won last week. So it's just the way racing goes sometimes. But yeah, we'll take what we can get.
Yes, sir, you will. And I mean, I know last week resulted in you moved up seven spots in the points last week.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's that definitely put a smile on my face as well.
I think you'll be smiling again this evening when those points get updated. So congratulations. Great run for you tonight, Chris. Go to Auto Club next week and wrap this thing up. Who knows? We may get another chance to talk to you.
Yeah, hopefully, if this trend keeps going, I don't mind.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, travel safe. We'll see you next week at Auto Club.
All right, thanks. And one last thing, I just didn't do it last time, so I wanted to say shout out to my wife and kids. Thank you for letting me do this.
What's her name?
We got Kara, Liam, and Lily. And just want to say I love you all, and thanks for giving me the time to sit here and do what I enjoy, do my hobby.
Absolutely, couldn't do it without him. Honestly, it's so great when they let you have time to do that. Okay, who we bringing in now, Sean?
Tony Showen. Tony Showen rounds out the podium this evening, Sue.
My goodness, where did this run come from? Up front for most of the qualified second, finished third. Tony, congratulations. You must love Atlanta.
Yes, sir. Thank you much. Yeah, I certainly, in my mind, was thinking that was overdue, and I'm happy.
Yeah, boy, you were there the whole time. You were just out of the mix. You couldn't quite catch up to those guys in the final bit there. Just a little bit out of the tow, or it could have been a 4-car battle.
Yeah, once I saw those guys were up there, I had a good gap where I knew I wasn't going to catch them, and I had a good gap behind me, so I was really conservative on that last run, just in case we got a caution, and I just wanted to save the tires.
Right. Let's talk about that pit stop there. It must have been real close when you came in you did like about a 38 lap stint, and there was like 38 laps left to go. Was it just right in the window, or was there a little more room to play with that we didn't know about?
It was right there. When we, on that second to last pit, we were all talking, we had to save fuel and run as long as you can if it went green, and then you would be okay by a lap or two maybe. So yeah, it was close.
Well, congratulations on a third place finish today. It was an impressive run. You were up there in front, and let's see if you can get something. How do you like California? You think you can get something like that there again?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've got good momentum right now. Our team is running well together right now too. There's a lot of teamwork in that last race, this race, and then last week at Kansas. So I just want to thank Chris and Joe, and then the other teammates at Adrenaline. It's been a fun year.
All right, last question. I'm going to throw you a curveball. I haven't done this one for a while. Favorite Disney princess, buddy? Who's it going to be?
You got to name them off. I have no idea.
I'll find one for you. Tell you what, I'll find a good one. Tony Showen, third place finisher today. Very fast, does not know his Disney princesses, though. All right, let's get him out of here. Thanks, Tony.
You. Thanks, guys.
Snow White, Cinderella, come on.
Yeah, the list is pretty deep. I'm thinking, One? Maybe just one?
All right. My goodness. Okay, Sean, I think, is that going to wrap it up for us, our director?
I think it's going to wrap it up for us tonight, Soup.
Okay, so let's see who we want to thank here as I scroll down through the script. Well, of course, we want to thank everybody at the Lionheart series. Actually, before that, we'd like to thank everybody at First Medical Equipment. They're really the important people. They offer durable medical equipment sales, rental, and services. Also, home modifications such as, now listen to all this stuff, stair lifts, those are cool, ramps, power wheelchairs, fun to play in, and scooters. I like scooters better than the wheelchairs. So, lift chairs, fun to get out of those. Watch The Walking Dead in one of those last night. Oh man, that was a tough hour. CPAP, oxygen, you need it, they got it. They service southeast corner of Iowa and surrounding counties. For more details, visit, now this is important, firstmedequipment.com. But honestly, what I do is just Google First Medical Equipment and that'll get you there. Thanks to Pete Edwins for sponsoring this broadcast also today. Crackers?
And we want to also thank Sim Nation. They are a Facebook page that is dedicated to all forms of sim entertainment, such as online sim racing, flight sim, and more. Remember, Sim Nation is the place to get all the latest and greatest media reviews and content for all your simulators, all in one place. Sim Nation, feed your dreams. And we also want to thank the company's equipment and software that you see on our screen now that we use on our broadcast suit.
The original music that you heard on today's broadcast is thanks to Eric Echolm and Casey Lalonde. And honestly, after my Walking Dead experience a couple nights ago, I put on little Casey Lalonde into the headphones. Didn't help. I was still traumatized. See the screen for how to contact each of them.
And the Lionheart IndyCar Series returns in 1 week for the Auto Club Speedway 200, the season finale and final Triple Crown race of the season. And GSRC will be there. We hope you will join us. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, your best bet is globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at /Global Sim Racing Channel.
And finally, behind the man of the voice you just heard, Sean Ambrose, our director, Amjad John, the camera artist, Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching, except for the one guy. Oh, and of course, Dawson, Never Say Die, Dawson Brock, for doing our spotting as well. I'd like to thank all of you for watching, except for the one guy on YouTube that gave us a thumb down. I'm not sure what his problem is. And with that said, it's time for us to go have fun storming the castle. So until next time, here's wishing each day finds you in a state of yo.